What up? Hi, Bob, what's up? First one in. That's what I'm talking about. We'll let a few more people come on live. We got 2 viewers. We got some likes coming. Give me them likes. What up, 2K Goat? Now we're coming. What's up, fellas? Got Fleek Boy, Game with Ivan, Isaiah, Jacob. What up? Man, you guys, okay, all right, we're starting to come in here. 93 viewers, that's what I'm talking about. What up, Owen? Markel Fultz, shooting secret. All right, cool. Tristan, what's up, brother? Mert. Jesse Vlogs up. Houston, nice. Nathan, Mert, all right. Yo, I'm glad you guys are here. We're up to 168 people in here watching, so I'm gonna just kind of get started. So, welcome to another episode of the Ask Coach C series. This is where I like to answer you guys' questions in real time. Give me a chance to kind of connect with you guys a little bit, and also give you guys a chance to ask me questions. I also like to use this time to kind of keep you guys updated what's going on. So, I've got 2 big updates for us to lead with before we jump into some questions. First update, and they both involve some free stuff, so you're definitely going to want to listen up. So the very first thing I've got a free exclusive workout for you, a shooting workout from our guys at Arbit. So you might have saw Arbit on the Garrett Temple video that I did last week. But so Arbit, right here, ARBIT, is a sweet app. It's only available on Apple right now. So if you got Apple, you're going to want to check it out. If you don't have Apple, it's coming very shortly, so never worry, it's going to come. But Arbit's a really cool polling app, and I'm going to use it for a lot of really interesting stuff as far as like having you guys, vote what video series you want to see next, have you guys vote what move breakdowns you want to see. So it's going to be a really cool way for me to kind of, figure out exactly what content we want to make that you guys want to see. So what I highly recommend you do is, number 1, download Arbit in the App Store right now. I've got the link in the description. It should have worked. I think I got it to work. And so, again, only available on Apple devices right now, but in like the next week, 2 weeks, something like that, they're going to have the Android version out, so stay tuned. So download Arbit, then follow me at Shop Mechanics. It's just like Instagram where I got a username, Shop Mechanics, all one word. And what's cool is in my bio, if you follow me at Shop Mechanics, I've got a link for that free exclusive workout. So you can click on that link, boom, it'll take you right over to a page where you get, you get specific shooting drills, how many times you got to do the drills, reps, all that sort of good stuff. So it's kind of nice. It was a win-win. It was a way that I could bring you guys a free workout and then also kind of help kind of connect with you guys on a really cool platform, because it's really cool. It's basically like a voting polling thing. So I could put up 2 things. I could say, hey, do you want to see Lonzo Ball shooting secrets, or do you want to see Markel Fultz shooting secrets? And you guys can go in and vote on it. So I've actually got my first poll running right now. It might be down my page on there a little bit, but so I voted on Devin Booker, or I think it was Aaron Gordon shooting secrets. And right now, Devin Booker's like running away with the vote. So if you want to, download the Arbit app and then go vote there. Also get that free workout. So that's kind of the very first one. Download Arbit. As soon as you jump up here, boom, go get in there. Follow me. I'll follow you back, and we'll get rolling in there. The second thing I got for you is, don't forget, you might have saw my video earlier in the week where we just hit 400,000 YouTube subscribers. So you guys are freaking awesome for helping us get there. It was kind of crazy. Right when we got to 400,000 subscribers, we also got to 50 million views, which is also like a mind-blowing number to me, that 50 million people have like clicked play on a video, which is absolutely nuts. So big shouts to all you guys for helping us get there and for helping kind of grow this thing organically like we've been growing it. So big old kudos to you guys. So on the 400K giveaway, I'm giving away about about $3,500 worth of stuff. So we've got shot trackers, we've got shirts, we've got training programs, we've got basketballs, we've got like all sorts of good stuff. Now, there's 2 ways to win. And I would recommend doing both to double your chances. So the first way to win is to follow me on Instagram. I'm going to randomly be picking half of the prizes from Instagram. And then the second way to win is to like our page, Shop Mechanics, on Facebook. I should have links, or I should have some stuff in the description that lets you know about that as well. And so what I would probably do if I was you is I would follow me on Instagram, and I would most definitely go like me on Facebook, because our Facebook page only has like 9,000 likes, I want to say right now, 9,500, because I haven't really done anything in the past on it. But our Instagram page has like 50-some thousand followers. So you have a much higher chance of winning if you like the Facebook page. So even if you rarely go on Facebook, I would definitely go like our page there, because it's going to double your chances. So, all right. So we got our stuff. We got our Arbit app. You're going to want to download it, get that free workout when you follow me at Arbit. Again, link to that workout's going to be in my description inside the Arbit app. The second thing you're going to want to do is enter that 400K giveaway because I'm excited to give you guys out some free stuff. Okay, so now let's get into a little Ask Coach C. So fire questions away. I'm going to go off the cuff, bing, bang, boom, get them coming at you. Again, I'm sorry if I can't answer everybody's questions. There's just so many, they fly by really quickly. So I'm going to do the best I can. All right. So Pennyman wants to know, how do you get on an AAU team? So really there's a couple different ways to go about it. Number one, you got to try out most of the time. So most AAU programs are going to have a tryout. You got to go. You got to show, what you're doing. You got to show, like what you got, and then they kind of formulate the teams from there. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is you can actually make your own AAU team. So if for some reason you missed tryouts, or, maybe you got cut, or maybe you got some buddies that you want to play with, you can actually make your own AAU team, and it's pretty easy. You can go to the AAU website, create your team, everybody gets AAU cards, and you can just enter tournaments. So even if you didn't make a team, I would always say you can still play AAU if you can find guys to play with. Let's see here. All right, so Ryan Clark wants to know, can you do Isaiah Thomas dribbling secrets? That's a good call. That's a good call. I haven't done anything about that. I've done like one Isaiah Thomas like breakdown move, I want to say, but I like the idea for a dribbling secrets. That's cool. All right. All right, so Daniel Fries wants to know, is it best to shoot with your fingertips? Yes and no. So I would recommend shooting with your fingertips most of the time if possible, keeping your palm off of the ball, because that gives you a little bit of better snap, better backspin. But with that being said, it's not impossible to shoot without it. If you look at like Damian Lillard, he kind of has it on his palm a little bit. I think Klay Thompson has it on his palm a little bit. Steph Curry even sometimes starts to get a little lower. So it's not impossible to shoot, with the ball in your palm and not as much of your fingertips. What I always like to say is it's kind of somewhere in between, right? It's not straight palm. It's not like a snow cone up on your fingertips like Shaq used to shoot his free throws, right? It's kind of in between, just nice and soft on the finger pads. That way you get that nice snap on the basketball. So good stuff, good stuff. Good questions, though. You guys got some good questions coming today. Let's see here. I'm right-handed, my dominant eye. All right, so A. Bryant, 24, wants to know, I'm right-handed and my dominant eye is my left. Should I change my shot line to the middle of my body? So he's right-handed, right? And his dominant eye is his left eye, so he wants to know if he should bring his shot line over. That does work for some players. The thing that you have to be careful of is if you're bringing your shot line over, sometimes it's going to mess up your mechanics coming out, whether it's your elbow, shooting with that chicken wing. So it works. What I would maybe, you can try it, but let's go with that. You can try it. It's not necessarily going to be a perfect solution, but give it a shot, see if it helps. Just make sure that on your follow through as you're coming out, you want your arm going straight forward in alignment with your shooting hip, right? So even though you're aiming off of that left eye coming up the center, really try to make sure that that's snapping forward. That's why a guy like Lonzo Ball can still shoot pretty well even though he's coming up the opposite side, is because he snaps it off and it's right in line with his hip. So good question. I like that one. Shout out from Libya. All right. All right, what do you think is the latest you can start if you want to play in the NBA? So Deshante wants to know. It really just kind of depends on, number one, your size and athleticism. So I've heard of like project guys from Africa that, don't start playing until they're juniors in high school and they're 7 feet tall and, they can pick it up pretty quickly. So it really just kind of depends on your situation, and how good you are, right? The NBA is really just, whoever's the best players are going to get to play and they can kind of find their way there. So a lot of times if you're good and you have a skill to offer, you can make it at probably pretty much any point in time. All right. All right, so Mullen says, I used to shoot by bringing the ball behind my head, but not a total slingshot. I'm 5'10". Why is this bad? I practice it, and it goes in a lot. So the number one key to shooting, and in fact, I had a kid email me the other day and tell me, or no, it was in the comments. It was on the comments on my free throw video, and somebody was like, this is horrible. You're scamming us. Like, I shot worse after doing these tips, and I was a good free throw shooter before, so, like, why are you telling us? And it's like, listen. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the number one rule in shooting instruction, and something that a lot of people break is if you're making shots and it's not affecting you, then who cares, right? I don't care how ugly it is. I don't care what the mechanics are. If you're shooting a high percentage and you're getting shots off, You know, it's not like too slow to where you can't get shots off or whatever it is. Like, don't change it up. Don't change it up. So even if you're slingshotting over your head, if you're shooting a high percentage, I wouldn't even worry about it. That's one thing that separates me from a lot of shooting coaches. A lot of shooting coaches think that they have to have like one perfect way that everybody has to shoot. But really, I'm 100% in the line of thought of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So roll with that. What is the best set point in basketball? Good question. So that kind of goes with the last one just a little bit. So set point is going to change, and this is, again, kind of different than a lot of shooting coaches will teach us. Your set point's probably going to change depending on your age. The younger you are and the more weaker you are, you're probably going to have a lower set point further down by your chest. Then as you get older, it's probably going to raise up. So the ideal set point that we're probably trying to get to is right about your forehead or your eyebrow. And then as you get like a little bit older to the college or the pro level, then maybe we're bringing it up above the forehead. But very rarely is it going to go any higher than right about here. If you look at the best shooters in the league, you know, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, most of the guys are right about here at the top of their forehead or at their eyebrow, somewhere in this area. So that's where I would work to. But again, if you're like a third grader, if you're a fourth grader, if you're a fifth grader, you might not have the strength or the power to be able to do that. So you might have to bring it down more by your chin, by your nose, by your chest until you have that strength to be able to do it. All right, let's see here. Sorry, I'm scrolling back through. I'm trying to find something that I missed here. Auto Porter shooting secrets. It's actually on my list. Again, download that Arbit app because I'm going to put out a poll, at some point, Auto Porter or whoever, and you can vote which one you'd rather see. So download that Arbit app, and that'll help a lot. Brad Goodman, good question. Coach C, how do you get into a zone when shooting? So for me, a zone is number one about mental preparation, right? If I can think about, my visualization, what I'm going to do on the court before I'm actually on the court, that helps me get into the zone quite a bit. And I've heard that works with a lot of high-level athletes. Guys like Ray Allen used to do that sort of thing a lot. So number one, that mental preparation, getting ready mentally to hit your shots. Number two, I like to really get some shots to go in first. So a lot of times this will be in the warm-up line. This will be like when you first enter the gym, shooting things like form shooting, free throws. Those are things that like your body, once you can see some of those shots go in, a lot of times that's kind of the first kind of step that gets you kind of right in that zone. So good question. I like that one. All right, so this is a good question that I bet a lot of people are having. They want to know, I want to play college ball in the U.S., but the only problem is that I'm from Europe. I'm 14 now. Can you help me find the best method? So there's a few different methods that you can use. What it's going to come down to is it's going to come down to exposure. So some places have like a pipeline where there's coaches in Europe or in Australia or in wherever, and then they try to, shift players from those AAU programs or whatever they're playing into the United States. So you can try to go that route. You can try to get hooked up with an AAU program or, kind of coaches in the area that have those United States contacts, but that can be kind of hard, right? It's a little bit hit or miss. So what I would do is I would take things into your own hands and I would download something, or I would get a service, something like the Up My Game app, right? So if you go to shotmechanics.com/ or no, not Up My Game. I'm sorry. Captain U. So you go shotmechanics.com/ Captain U, just the letter U like university. And so what that is, you can set up a free athlete profile. You can connect directly with college coaches in the United States. And so that's really easy. You could send them game film. You could send them highlights. You can send them all sorts of stuff. And so that's probably one of the best ways to go about it, kind of taking it into your own hands. All right, Moffis wants to know, what drills do you recommend for muscle memory in your shooting form? Please answer. So that's a pretty vague question, right? What drills promote muscle memory? Pretty much any drill that promotes, any drill that's getting you to do the right movement is going to promote your muscle memory. And then from that point, it's just how many times you do it, how often you do it, and that sort of stuff. And so each drill is going to depend player to player depending on what they need for their muscle memory, right? Let's say, one player's got an elbow that's always flying out, but another player never has their elbow flying out. They're probably not going to need the same exact drills because the muscle memory needs to be built differently for each. So what I would try to do is I would try to look at your weaknesses first. I would see what you need to work on, and then I would try to tailor fit your drills to fit those, if that makes sense. I've got programs to do that. I've got a lot of videos, a lot of drill videos that can help you out there too. So that's how I'd probably go about it. Let's see here. So Luke wants to know, do I recommend a thumb push? So he's talking about the guide hand as you're shooting, your guide hand rotating around at the same time pushing it. I don't necessarily recommend it, but it's one of those things where if it's not causing like negative misses on your shots, then I wouldn't really worry about it. A lot of coaches try to like ingrain it out at a young age, but I'm kind of mediocre on it. If it's causing you to miss, then I would get rid of it. But if it's not, like, who cares? It's one of those things that I wouldn't necessarily develop on purpose either. But if it's there and if it's not causing any misses, then no big deal. All right. So I see, what's the best way to break a 3-2 zone? Ooh, good question. So a little bit different than a 2-3, right? So now we've got, kind of 3 guards up on top, 2 big men in the back. So with their ball fakes, number 1, ball movement, number 2, and number 3, defender manipulation on the catch. Because they have more guards on the top, if you can catch and be moving at the same time, right, it's going to get that defender shifting, and then you can puncture the zone. And the thing with the 3-2, because they have more guys on the outside than the inside, is if you can puncture that zone early, it's going to put a lot of pressure on those 2 bigs that are in the bottom. So from there, you're going to get a lot of kick-out threes, get a lot of kind of dump-off passes to the post players. You're going to have some really good looks off of that. What up, TR Elite? All right, so OSN's Big Nose wants to know, Coach, how do you get more range? I'm a one-motion shooter, and I have trouble hitting threes. So range has a ton to do with your upward momentum. So if you're a one-motion shooter, that's a great start, but I'm guessing you're probably not getting good enough hip load, and you're probably not getting good enough pop from your toes of your feet. So the 2 things that we want to think about are, number 1, getting that zigzag of our body. So if you go to YouTube, search Shot Mechanics Basketball Zigzag, and that'll pop a video where I talk about loading your hips. I talk about loading the spring to explode the spring. So that's going to help you get that power, and if you combine that with that one-motion shot, that'll help you out too. All right, let's see here. All right, so Dr. Basketball Aspect says, I generally break ankles but tend to miss the layup after it or the jump shot. Suggest anything to improve. So what I would improve is I would probably improve your targeting. So odds are you've got great ball handling, but your eyes are probably a little lower than the surface, right? So you hit these great moves, your eyes are a little bit down, and then as you go to finish, you're finding your target late with your eyes coming up, if that makes sense. And again, targeting, like any hand-eye coordination sport, basketball is the same way, where the longer you aim at something, the more accurate it's going to be. So most likely, if I had to guess, you're hitting your moves, everything's good, and then you're going to finish or going to shoot, and you're finding the rim late. So instead, do the exact same thing, but think about coming out of that very last dribble. You want to get your eyes up early as you're bringing the ball up. That way you get a longer time to aim at the backboard or at the rim, wherever it is you're trying to finish. All right, so Alec wants to know, what skills do you need to master to be an all-around player like Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, or LeBron James? So skills you need to master. Number 1, shooting. Number 2, finishing. Number 3, kind of that grit and desire. That's not really a skill necessarily, but it's a mindset. And then number 4, you need athleticism, right? If you look at each one of those guys that you named, they have kind of unique athleticism that sets them apart from kind of your average player, right? KD's super long and lengthy, but he's got tall, but he's still coordinated. Kobe's got kind of that prototypical 2-guard athleticism, and then LeBron James is kind of an athletic freak, right? So really the way I like to think of it, to be a dynamic scorer, you got to be able to score at all 3 levels. So you got to be able to finish at the basket, you've got to be able to shoot off a separation from the mid-range, and you've got to be able to hit 3-point shots. So if you can do those 3 things, it's going to make you really hard to guard, and generally that's what the best scorers do. All right, so how do I get more arc on my shot? Good question. 2 things. Number 1, raise your release elbow above your eye line, so it's possible that you're shooting flat, just like this. So think about raising your shooting elbow above your eye line. That's probably the first thing going to help. Number 2, this is kind of something that a lot of people don't realize, but if you use a feet sweep, sometimes that's going to help you increase your arc as well. So if you jump, if you don't land in the exact same spot that you start, if you let your feet come forward a little bit, so instead of starting here and landing here, if you jump and let your feet come forward, that'll relax your shoulders and thus pull your release up, giving you better arc. So sometimes that helps. All right, Javion Bell wants to know, is it okay to have one foot squared and one turned to the left? Yeah, if you're a right-handed shooter, some people do like that, where their right foot's more squared towards the basket and their left foot's a little bit off. That works if it works for you. I do notice that sometimes players don't get as good of power and pop doing that, so it just kind of depends on how it works for you. All right, Kobe wants to know, where do you aim at? So everybody's a little bit different. I generally aim about 5 inches below the back of the rim, or where the eyelets on the net go from being big eyelets to small eyelets. Because if I can hit that, generally that's going to make it a perfect swish. Whereas if I aim for the back of the rim and I hit it, it's going to be a miss. If I aim for the front of the rim and I hit it perfect, it might be a miss. So that's kind of where I am. I like to aim about 6 inches down the back of the net. All right, so Big R says, I did your 7-day shooting challenge. Do you have anything else like that? So freebies, I got the 7-day shooting challenge. I do have another free workout on some videos. I can't remember which ones exactly, so you can look through some old videos and find that out. I don't have anything like the challenges, but I think you guys probably liked them. I've got a lot of great feedback from them, so I'm probably going to do more of those sorts of things. So I think I'm going to do a 7-day handle challenge. I'm going to do a 7-day athleticism challenge. So I'm going to keep bringing you that stuff for free. If you want another freebie, remember you can download that Arbit app. Boom. Right there, Arbit, although I think it's probably backwards for you guys, which is weird. But if you're an iPhone user, you can go to the App Store, download Arbit, A-R-B-I-T. Follow me at Shot Mechanics once you're in there. And then I've got a free workout in the link in that bio. So you just got to click that link and it'll take you to another free workout. So if you're looking for more shooting instruction, shooting work, highly recommend you check that out. All right. What else we got here? How to shoot like Klay Thompson. All right, coming. Got some votes for that going in Arbit right now, I believe. seeing some troll comments. All right, so somebody wants to know how to be a middle finger shooter. So sometimes you're depending on the player, you're going to want to switch which finger release you're using. So middle finger basically means that the ball's coming off your middle finger last. So it really depends a lot of times on your hand placement. If you're trying to place your hand behind the basketball, so you're kind of cranking it back like this, it's kind of really hard to be a middle finger shooter sometimes. So what I would recommend is moving your hand either to the top of the ball or the side of the ball, and a lot of times that can help you out. All right, what time we got here? Oh, I've been going for 22 minutes. This is a long one. All right, also I got to roll, meet my wife, run some errands, all that sort of stuff. So don't forget, 2 things. Number 1, download Arbit in the App Store. Awesome company. You can vote on which videos I'm going to make next. A lot of times in the comment sections, that's where I kind of get the things that we're going to vote in Arbit. And you get a free workout inside of my bio there at Shot Mechanics. Number 2, do not forget to enter the 400K giveaway. Again, thank you guys so much for helping us get to 400,000 subscribers. We're on that march to 1 million. And so right now I'm giving away about $3,500 worth of stuff. So, there's a little bit more information on that in the description. Follow me on Instagram for that. Like me on Facebook, and you're going to be entered. All right, peeps. You guys are awesome. The Splash Army is the reason why I do what I do, and we're going to keep rolling. Whoa! And we're going to keep rolling for the future. See you guys. Splash on.